Okay, today I have done, uh, well, last episode was planting and the trowel, and this one is harvesting. That's it. It's just harvesting. I was gonna do the market stuff today as well, but I think I'm gonna be done for the day. Oh, right. Well, not just plant it. Sorry, not just harvesting. There's also a chance for the crop to fail and some modifiers as well. So if, for instance, I set this to, this is a growth rate modifier. It multiplies the growth rate by this number. The normal growth rate of a corn in this would be zero point 0.1. If you multiply by 10, that is one segment at a time. Max world growth rate extra. Let me demonstrate that as well. Oh, here, I just used the harvester and added a button to it. Now, if I multiply this growth rate extra by 10, we'll get a 100 tall one. And in addition to it being 100 tall, I also fixed the issue where it would where some of the crops at around crop number, or sorry, some of the segments at around like 39 or 50 or whatever would start growing backwards. I got it fixed. How I got it fixed? No freaking clue. I had to use the fourth dimension because apparently you can't just rotate Blender models. Even if you bake the axis conversion, you just can't because frick you, I guess. uh, yeah, I think the issue was that they were like splitting across several channels of the vector 3, so like you'd have to use multiple of the rotation to rotate it, at least by script. When you rotate it just by rotating, it works perfectly fine and exactly how you would expect it to. I also changed the texture of the ground to this and to the prototype materials because I wanted to be able to aim easier with digging. Okay, now let me demonstrate one of the features I added. If you plant a plant just on the ground, or a plant that is supposed to usually in real life be planted inside the ground, like you have to till the field, uh, not necessarily like it grows in the ground, but yeah. Now, it the output is smaller than just one whole seed or one whole of the thing. Now there is an incentive to plant it in the ground. Why? How am I digging so well right now? But yeah, now there is an incentive to actually dig. If I can see what I mean? Now that I've got the prototype texture on, it's a lot easier to see where this is going wrong. Because like I'm aiming right at where it probably should be, but it's just not. Okay, anyways, now if you plant it in the ground, it will be bigger on the output. See? Where? See? Yeah. Now let me show you that. So, oh, also, uh, I got it so that the crops reference themselves so that they, like, if you plant a corn and then you harvest all the stuff on it, it then says that when you take the output, it should put out more of this exact thing. Because, I mean, most of the time the thing people harvest from plants is where the seeds are. Okay. So I did the self-reference using a scriptable object with a reference to the prefab itself. And then I put the scriptable object in the prefab. Like, see right here. The reason I had to do it that way is because if you simply if you simply tell the prefab to reference itself, if you tell the prefab to reference the prefab version of itself, when you start the game, it changes that to referencing the in-game version of itself. For some reason. I don't know why, but oh well. Okay. And now for... Okay, actually, yeah. I added these numbers, or these variables, to the growth incrementer. So this is the crop size multiplier, the growth rate world extra, and the max growth world extra. So this one, yeah, changes how fast everything grows, and this one changes how tall everything grows. And then here is a local size multiplier. And this bool is for, it's to differentiate between things like vines and things like corn, which need to be planted in a tilled field. Whereas a vine is a vine. I don't think those go in the ground. I'm pretty sure. Maybe they do. I haven't really looked that up yet. Okay, now growth rate multiplied by the growth rate world extra, and then max growth is round to int max growth times that. So like if it's 1.5, it'll make sure this returns a whole number. If it is a ground type, if it is below the point, or if it is below where the ground is, which is at y equals 24.5, set the local size multiplier to only negative 0, or to only negative 0.1, or to only negative 0.1. If it is above where the ground should be, set it to 0.2, or set it to negative 0.2. And then in here, it gets the local size multiplier, and then size multiplier equals growth incrementer dot current crop size multiplier plus part dot local size multiplier. The whole size multiplier thing is supposed to represent, like, if you have pests or weeds in your crops or anything like that, or if you don't aerate the soil by tilling it, or whatever. And then crop.transform.local scale equals new vector 3. So this changes the output scale of the crop by and multiplies it by the crop size multiplier. Okay, now to get on to where I fixed the thing. So in here, Oh, wait, hang on. I should probably... What the? Oh. Okay, let me... hang on. This has to be the exact same for all these, otherwise it will break. Okay, so what this does is it in here it rotates it sets the local rotation of the segment when it is about to move the segment to 0x, 0y, 1 in z, and 1 in, I think that's called Ana or Kata, and 1 in w, which is the fourth dimension. And you may be wondering, why is it doing 1 if you are wanting it to turn 90 degrees each time? That's because 1 is 90 degrees. Or at least 1z, 1w is 90 degrees. For some reason. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why it's doing this. I even tried doing like 0.5 to see if it would get 45 degrees of rotation instead of 90. Nope. It seems to just be if it is incremented in like if there is just any number in that field of the quaternion, it just sets it to 90. I've got no clue why, but yeah, it just works. Well, I would say it works, but whatever. Okay, let me see what else I have done. Oh yes, when you pull the crop from the ground, it stops growing. Let me demonstrate. See, I mean, if it's mid-growth, it will mess it up a little bit because of how I have the growth coded. But yeah, it just stops it growing. And now we only get 2 corn because that was all that grew. Okay, that is all I have done so far. Thank you for tolerating me.